Okay, following on from my last video on privacy and how that relates to your well-being, I would like to make a public declaration, if I may. And basically this is to explain parts of the video where I said that a compensation remittance must be made if one is to compromise my lifestyle choice. Now let me give you a definition of my lifestyle choice. I'm a born heterosexual that chooses to be heterosexual. I acknowledge the fact that homosexuality is legal, and I'm a law-abiding citizen who does not discriminate against people for their chosen lifestyle. I do not think in my mind that homosexuality is right, as that would mean that I accept heterosexuality and homosexuality as being right, which will make me a bisexual, which I'm not. I do not want to practice any other sexuality but heterosexuality, and I have considered all the other sexualities and have chosen to remain heterosexual. I'm of sound mind and reasoning, and this statement describes who I am. Okay? So I know in today's world people get attracted. There is men who can get attracted to me. That's possible. But I just want to make this clear. You got to let people know so that they give people a heads up, so they don't make the dumb mistake of approaching you when you're not interested. Okay? So in this talk, I'll explain to you why, although I accept homosexuality as legal, in my mind I'm not going to believe that it's right, because I don't want to believe that heterosexuality is right and homosexuality is right. If I believe in both of those, that will make me a bisexual, because a bisexual is somebody who believes that both are right. A homosexual only believes in one, a heterosexual only believes in one, but a bisexual believes in both. To believe that both are right, you are a bisexual, and I'm not that. I'm a heterosexual. Okay? And that's the only reason, not because I want to discriminate against you for what you do, but just because I'm keeping myself straight, because that I was born that way and I choose to remain that way. The cost of accepting homosexuality as being right in my head, that will compromise my heterosexuality. If I start telling myself that that's right, I'll compromise what I am. Yeah, the cost of compromising my lifestyle choice, this will cause me trauma, psychological trauma. Yeah, it will be forcing me to do something I don't want to do, and this is very traumatic for me. Force me to accept something I don't believe is right. That's very traumatic to me. But I do acknowledge that it's legal, and obviously I respect you as a human being, and I give you your human rights. I respect your privacy, and you have that. And I've got gay friends, and we respect each other's boundaries. But I have to let everybody know. And another thing that would be a cost would be a reduction in my well-being. Again, it's kind of similar to my psychological trauma. I will feel like this life is just not worth living, and it will be a loss of dignity. Yeah, it will make me feel so depressed and traumatized that I'll feel like I'm being like my mind's being raped. Yeah, to force something that I believe. I mean, I accept that it's legal. I mean, in this world we have democracy. When people vote, half the people don't believe something's right, but when it's legal, they have to accept it. But you can't force them to believe it's right. Yeah, but they have to accept it. Yeah, I accept it, but I don't believe it's right. Yeah, so you can't force me to believe it's right in my head. I don't want to become a bisexual. I want to remain straight. So that would be a loss of dignity, like my mind is being raped and somebody is going in there and forcing me to accept things in my head that I don't think is right. I'll accept it outside of my head, but not in my head. I don't believe that is right. Okay? Because I'm a heterosexual. But it's legal, so I accept that. Yeah. I don't believe supporting parties that dress in orange, I suppose, is right. Yeah, but they're legal. Yeah. I won't tell you my political affiliation, but there's a party that I oppose, and I don't believe that voting for that party is right, and I'll never believe it's right, but it's legal. That's the same way I am with homosexuality. I'll never believe it's right, but it's legal. Yeah, and I'm law abiding. Yeah, so this is not a hate thing. In terms of wanting me to say that it's right, wanting to force that in my head, if I look at what's gonna cost me, if you want to force me to believe that it's right in my head, not even I won't accept that. But if you want me to think nicely about it, if I think nicely about it in my head, I'll compromise what I am, and this will start to happen to me. So I have to consider the time I spend thinking about what is non-compatible to my lifestyle choices. I have to consider the cost of compromising my lifestyle choices, and I have to calculate the estimated gains for the applicant. If somebody comes along and says, why don't you think nice things about homosexuals? I'll say, well, because it's going to compromise my heterosexuality, and what do you gain from me thinking nice things about them? What do you gain? Calculate the estimated gains. So I've done all this, and I've come up with a billing. It will cost you $300 per second. Every second of time I spend in my head thinking about your sexuality in a nice way will cost you £300 if you ask me. Otherwise, I'm going to spend my time thinking about heterosexuality. I'm not going to be thinking about you at all, because I don't want to compromise that. I want to concentrate on what I am. I'm not going to attack you or advise people to attack you, but I'm going to concentrate on what I am. If you want me to start thinking in my head that you're right, yeah, you have to pay me $300 for each second I spend doing that. Okay? So I'm not rigid. I'm not rigid. Yeah? As long as you pay, because this is something that I don't believe is right. It's like you being a party member of a political party that I oppose, and you want me to think about your party in a positive way. Yeah? If you want to do that, you pay. I'm not rigid. Yeah? You pay $300 a second. That's it. Yeah? That's all I wanted to add.